Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Taking a live look outside. It's going to feel like winter this weekend. Cold temps are moving in, and so is the snow.
Yeah, check out this video that proves winter kind of already moving into the area. This is a time lapse of downtown Denver. We went from a foggy day to a chilly, drizzly night. That cold front is moving in and dropping our temperatures in a pretty big way. The metro area is looking at inches of snow. Come this weekend, Burr.
Burr is right. Happy chilly Friday. Corey here with Jordan.
Yeah, you know, this is kind of one of those weekends that we're always looking for a reason to stay in. This might be your reason. Let's get a check of your forecast with Ed this morning. Hey, Ed, good morning.
Yeah, you're right. And this snow has been developing all along. First, it was starting out as maybe some snow showers, a little chilly over the weekend. Now it's downright cold and maybe 3 to 6 inches of snow by the time this is all said and done. So it's a different sort of storm that's moving in, and it's going to be a taste of winter after we've had a really nice, dry, mild fall. So here are the temperatures we're seeing right now. Look at the teens here in portions of Nebraska. Sterling's at 21 degrees. We're at 27 degrees now in Denver, and we are under a freeze warning until noon today for temperatures as low as 18 degrees. So yeah, it's already starting with the cold air. However, the sunshine comes back and we'll see 53 degrees, and then for tomorrow, 32 degrees as the snow develops, 29 on Sunday, but overnight we could see 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. You could wake up to that on Sunday morning, 42 on Monday. The sunshine returns. Halloween, not all that bad, 45 degrees with sunny skies. And then on Wednesday, 55 degrees. Sunshine stays with us.
All right, Ed, thank you. A live look at our drive across the metro right now. I-70 and 270 light volume. Same thing goes for 76 in Vasquez through Commerce City. 225 in Tech Center light volume, and I-25 and 104th in North Glen, good and quiet. Quickly want to bring you to the graphics. As far as your Friday commute headlines go, we are in great shape. Quiet start, as you just saw from our cameras. No major crashes. As always, be careful, drive safe out there. All green on the maps.
All right, Erica, thank you. This morning, thousands of people in Maine are living under shelter-in-place orders as police search for the gunman who killed 18 people at a bowling alley and a restaurant. Police and FBI agents were at the home of one of Robert Card's relatives. They had the place surrounded for hours to serve a search warrant. The Coast Guard is searching the rivers, and Canadian Border Patrol agents are watching for him. Police say the violence started Wednesday night at a bowling alley in the city of Lewiston. The place was hosting a kids' bowling league. Police say the suspect walked in with a gun and started shooting.
We just kept running, and there was shots fired outside the building after, and we just kept running and running and running.
Police say the shooter went to a restaurant 4 miles away and shot people there. They found his car Thursday night southeast of town. The father of the restaurant manager killed in the shooting says the suspect had been there before and everyone there knew him. Family members of other victims say the place was packed for a cornhole tournament. NBC News reports that the suspect's family and his Army Reserve commander had raised concerns about his mental health over the last few months. He went into psychiatric treatment this summer after he made threats involving a military base.
NBC News reports Card had already bought a gun by that point and did so legally. Police in Maine can ask judges to take someone's guns if a medical professional says they're dangerous, but we don't know yet if anyone tried. Coloradans who know the horrors of mass shooting are now offering their support. The 720 Memorial Foundation, created after the Aurora Theater shooting, is once again folding paper cranes to send to survivors. Each crane holds a message of love and support. They're turned into wreaths to be sent out to those impacted by a mass shooting. The foundation is working on wreaths to send to Lewiston, Maine. If you want to help out, we'll have that information on this story on 9news.com.
Law enforcement in Colorado know this chaos and heartbreak as well. As hard as it is, of course, they are still watching the case in Maine closely to see if there is anything they can learn to make us safer the next time they have to respond to an active shooter.
We can use the lessons learned from those other instances and try not to make the same, have the same problems, or, if there was a mistake that was made, we can try to not have our officers make that mistake. We just try to be as prepared as possible.
Deputies in Arapahoe County said say that they will eventually use the after-action reports from the shooting in Maine to inform future trainings.
Democratic state legislators in Colorado responded to gun violence with a series of gun control laws. Excuse me, but several are held up in court.
Boulder's Mayor Aaron Brockett began a legal battle against a no compromises gun advocacy group before last spring. The far-right group Rocky Mountain Gun Owners sued Boulder and other municipalities in the county a year ago over their bans on so-called assault weapons and large capacity magazines. As the case continues, those bans still cannot be enforced. Then state lawmakers passed its own laws this spring, raising the age limit to 21 to buy guns. Rocky Mountain Gun Owners sued again, and in August, a federal judge temporarily blocked that new law. Next week, a federal court could block another gun control law. The same gun advocacy group filed a third lawsuit this month to fight Colorado's 3-day waiting period to buy a gun.
It's incredibly frustrating, right? Like, we passed these measures because of the death of 10 precious community members in the King Soopers horrific shooting.
Rocky Mountain Gun Owners is suing Boulder along with Superior, Louisville, and Boulder County. Parties asked the judge last week to make a decision without a trial. It could be months, though, before that happens. It is now 5:06, and the Senate has now approved a controversial amendment to defend gun rights for veterans. It allows vets with mental illnesses to bypass background checks to buy a gun. The measure is looped in with a package of annual spending bills that have not passed the Senate yet, but could next week. Independent Senators Angus King is among the lawmakers who support this amendment. King is the former governor of Maine, where over a dozen people were killed and dozens more were hurt in that mass shooting. The suspected shooter is an Army reservist who reported mental health problems in the past.
No luck for former President Trump. A judge has rejected his 5th attempt to throw out a lawsuit that would block him from Colorado's 2024 presidential primary ballot. It's a long-shot lawsuit based on a 14th Amendment clause banning candidates from running for office if they aid or engage in an insurrection. The Colorado GOP is fighting the lawsuit alongside the Trump team, saying the party will not hold a primary if Trump isn't on the primary ballot. This week's ruling clears the way for the trial to begin next week. It will determine if Trump is disqualified from returning to the White House because of the January 6th insurrection. The case will likely reach the U.S. Supreme Court.
We are just under 2 weeks away from Election Day. So far, about 223,000 ballots have been returned. Right now, unaffiliated voters lead the pack with about 84,000 ballots turned in. Republicans are second with more than 73,000 ballots, and Democrats are in third with almost 64,000. Currently, El Paso County voters are leading the way by turning them in early. Early return totals so far are, in fact, better this time around compared to the 2021 election, but worse than the 2019 election.
Core Electric is now being awarded millions of dollars for extended outages at one of Xcel's coal-powered plants. Core Electric Cooperative sued Xcel over alleged mismanagement of the Comanche plant in Pueblo. The co-op blames Xcel for a whole bunch of issues with the generator at the plant, including 700 out-of-service days since the plant opened in 2010. This week, a jury awarded Core $26 million. Core wanted more than $200 million, not just for the outages, but for Xcel's decision to retire the plant years ahead of schedule. Core co-owns the plant with Xcel and want it out of their ownership agreement, but the jury wouldn't go for it. The plant is supposed to be retired by 2030, so they'll have to stick it out for a few more years.
1 year really makes all the difference. The Colorado River Basin now has enough water to avoid unprecedented cuts. Federal water managers say it's all thanks to that rain and the snow that Colorado got last year. Well, just a year ago, the federal government was telling Colorado and 6 other states that rely on the river to figure out how to dramatically cut down on water use. They were worried about Lake Mead running so low that the Hoover Dam couldn't generate electricity anymore. The extra snow and rain this year put the reservoir in a safer spot. So the feds say a plan by California, Arizona, and Nevada to make limited water cuts will be enough, at least for now.